All right, today we're going to go over how to use the Charactermancer to create a new character in Roll20. So the first thing you're going to need is access to the Roll20 account, the Roll20 server that you're going to be working with. We are going to go into our journal. If you already have a character, you're just going to select it. If not, your GM is probably going to create one for you. I'm going to create one real quick, which is just going to be my test character. So, and I'm going to save that. Awesome. Once I create my character, or if your GM has created a character for you, you're probably going to start in this screen. Use the Charactermancer, create an NPC, or edit the sheet directly. So if you are here, you're going to click on Use the Charactermancer. If you accidentally click on Edit the sheet directly, not a big deal. If you want to use the Charactermancer from here, you would click on the gear icon right over here, and then just scroll to the bottom. And once you scroll to the bottom, you're going to see the option that says Launch Level 1 Charactermancer cannot be undone. That's the one you do at the very beginning. The second one would be something you'd use when you want to level up. So let's go ahead and look at this. We're going to click on that. It's just going to give us some basic information about what this is going to be doing. We're just going to click on next to go to the next part. And that's what we'll be doing as we go through here. We'll be clicking next to pick each of our different aspects of our character. It wants us to start with our race. You're welcome to click around and change different things if you wish. You don't have to go in the order it suggests. I tend to follow the order that's here. Most of the time when I sit down to create a character, I already have a really good concept. I may have already worked it out on paper. You may have worked out on D&D Beyond, however you're going to do it. But for me, I pretty much know what I'm going to do off the bat. So let's say I'm going to play a human wizard. I would go down here. I would scroll down until I found human, and I would click on it. Once I click on the race, you're going to see on the right-hand side, it changes a little bit to give me a little information about my race. The left-hand side gives me information that I can choose depending on the race that I select. So I can pick my alignment. I will pick lawful good. It gives me what languages I have, and it also lets me pick my sub-race. I'm going to pick variant human here, which allows me to get let me go down a little bit. It allows me to get ability score improvements and a skill proficiency. I am going to ignore all that right now, because until I pick my class, I never remember which skills are available for which classes, which backgrounds. So I'm going to ignore all that for right now. We'll get back to that in a minute. I'm just going to go next to my class because I know I want to play a human wizard. So I'm just going to go down here. I'm going to find wizard. And again, just like the other one, once you pick it, it's going to scroll on the right to give you an information window about what's available, what the information about it. Tells you what your default proficiencies are, gives you what your basic skill proficiencies are for your character, and it also gives you some information about the spells you have, more information about your character, some general stuff associated with them. Again, I'm not going to pick proficiencies right now. That's pretty much the only thing I can pick here. I tend to save those until I get my background, and I work backwards from there. So let's go to our next thing. Our next is our abilities. These are your ability stats, and for this, you have a couple. You're going to pick whichever way you're going to create your abilities. For us, I use the standard array most of the time, so we'll go ahead and click on standard array. Once we click on standard array, it will give us an option of the standard ones we want to do. We'll just pick which one we want. My wizard, I want my high intelligence. I would love for him to have a high constitution, decent dexterity. Strength, no, he's kind of puny. And I'd like him to be a little nice, but maybe not the most wise person. So I've kind of picked some stats for him. Again, if you want to roll your stats, you would just go up to your top bar. You're going to click on the options over there, and you're going to select roll for stats from the pull down list. Once you select roll from stats for your pull down list, you'll see the options you have for it. We're going to roll d6, drop lowest. And again, we can pick what we want. So I'm going to go intelligence, and then dexterity and constitution. And then again, my dump stat for him is going to be strength and charisma and wisdom. A little slightly better rolling that way. All right. Next, I'll go to my background. My background's going to let me pick what the how the character, what the character origin was from. And for this one, I am going to go with the simple one. He was, let me see what we got here. I'll find it here in a second. Oh, there he is. He's a scholar, cloistered scholar right here. So that gives me the history proficiency automatically. It also gives me arcana, nature, or religion. I am going to pick, I think I'll pick arcana here, and we'll get back to why I picked arcana in a second. Language proficiencies, what languages he can speak. So as being someone who studies in a scholar, in a temple, a library, whatever it's going to be, I'm going to say he speaks Celestial, and I am also going to say he is fluent in Primordial because of that. He has access to a library. We have our personality traits. We can either pick from a list, or we can just click on the roll button and it'll randomly select one for us and just kind of go through it. If you get the same stat or you get one you don't like, just roll again. Let it pick something else for you. And again, I'm just going to roll for each of these. Once I've gone through my background, okay, I'll just keep going with my equipment. How do you want to choose your equipment? So we have the two options. One is you get starting equipment, starting wealth, which is some random number that's generated for you, or you get a class equipment, which is its default equipment for your class. For my games, we'll always pick class equipment. That's going to give us options what we want to do. So my wizard is going to have a staff. I just like the iconic wizard with a staff. Does he have a component pouch or arcane focus? He's got to have a focus. We'll figure out that. I'll describe the focus later in game, but right now I'm not too worried about details about it. And he's going to have a scholar's pack for his equipment. Okay, and then once I picked it, the bottom of here, equipment from background, gives me all the stuff that he normally has associated with it. All right, so I am going to click on next. Once I click on next, it's going to give me my option to pick what spells I have. So I can pick cantrips. So I'll click on my wizard cantrip, and I'm just going to pick some here at random. Nothing crazy. I'm just going to pick the first three in the list. Okay. Same with my wizard spells. It figures out based on my intelligence, my level, how many spells I can have in my spell book. So again, I'm just going to pick some at random, not doing a whole lot of detail here. Okay, and I'll just add these two and go to it. And then I'm going to click on next. Okay, because I'm a human, I get a feat that I can pick at first level, so I am going to go ahead and select my feat. It might take a moment for it to load all of the feats in, or the spells, or any page you're on, depending on how many are available to you. So I have my feats that I'm available here, so I am going to go out here that he is a warcaster. Give him that a bonus for that. So Warcaster gives me different information about it. So I get that Constitution saving throw, which could be pretty important. I'm going to click on my bio next. For the bio, I would just go ahead and change this name to be whatever I want my character's name to be. And if I don't do it here, it's okay. But I usually just put my name in here. So we'll say Thalen is my wizard. I can fill in the age, height, weight, all that stuff. If I have that information ready, I'll fill it in here. If not, I can leave it blank. I'm going to leave it blank right now. I'll show you how to fill that in a second. Once we get to the end, we have a review stage. The review stage is going to allow us to verify that we've got everything we need. Okay, and anything in red is all the stuff that I forgot to do. So I skipped a lot of stuff from my race and my class. It's just telling me I need to go back and do it. So I just want to do. I'm just go back to my race. I'm a lawful good cleric. Or lawful good wizard. I haven't picked my proficiencies yet. So let me pick another language proficiency here. So as a wizard, I kind of think I'm going to go with Gnomish as my other language. I have some ability score increases. I am going to pick intelligence, and I'm going to pick constitution. I just kind of think those are going to be important for my character. And then I have more skills. When I click on the pull down list, it will gray out anything I've already picked. So I'm just going to pick some more stuff over here. I'm going to say that he has sleight of hand. Maybe he wants to sneak out a spell every now and then. And then from here, I can go back to my review, click back on reviews, and I can still see that I've missed some stuff in my class. So I'm going to go back to class. look at my proficiencies here because that's what I'm missing. From here, I am going to take investigation and I am going to take insight as my last two skill set. And then from there, I am just going to go back to review and verify my stats look kind of the way I like them to be. And if they all look good, I am going to click on apply changes. It's going to take a second or two to build your character. Okay. And then from here, if I need to change anything, I certainly can. So I had mentioned earlier that if I left something blank, like my height, weight, those type of things, my bio information, I can click on the bio button over here and I can just go ahead and put those in. He is 6 foot tall. He is 170 pounds, kind of skinny. He's got green eyes. So you can fill that in. I can't spell. Green eyes. And then you have additional notes here for your character. You can put them in here. I personally like to create a character journal as a handout that we can edit and put all of our additional information in it. So it just allows you to format a little nicer than you can in your character sheet, but whatever works best for you is okay. And then spells. These are the spells that I have for my character over here. Now, one of the really nice things about Roll20 is that if you want to add something to it, you can drag and drop it into your character sheet. So I'm going to click over here on the compendium, and I'm going to find something like, I am first level wizard, but I have dreams of casting fireball at some point, right? So I'm going to find the fireball spell, and I'm going to click on it in the compendium list, and I'm just going to drag it onto my character sheet. And when I do, that's going to add it to my character sheet. We can do that with our spells. We can also do that with our equipment. If we need to add something to our equipment, we can just find it and drag it onto it. The nice thing about dragging it onto the character sheet, as opposed to doing it manually, is that if you drag it on, where I just put fireball here, it added all the information associated with fireball as opposed to me just adding it manually. Because if I wanted to add it manually, I could, of course, click on plus here. I can go in and put fireball, and I can type all the information in. So if you got something that's not in the compendium, you can always add it. But if you can just drag it, it's going to be so much easier for you overall. And I'm going to close that up. And if I add something I don't want, I'm just going to click on the padlock. It's going to give me a trash can next to it. I can delete that to get rid of my trash can, and I'll lock it back so I don't accidentally delete something I want. All right, that is it for our character sheet, using Charactermancer for creating the character sheet. I will mention one more thing. You'll notice up the top it says Wizard 1, and it has a little red anvil next to it. I can use that when it's time to level up to level 2. So if I were to click on that, it would take me to the Charactermancer again. And in this case, I'm getting ready to level up. I'm going up a level. So I would click on next. It's going to ask me what I want to do. Do I want to level up? I'm going to take my wizard to level 1. I'm not going to add a new class. I could if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. And I could roll for my hit points, or I could take the average. So I'm just going to roll, and my roll came out the same. I will then go ahead and pick my class tradition. We are going to be an enchanter. Okay. And then from there, I can click on next. It tells me some features of my class. I picked up the hypnotic gaze as an enchanter. Nothing else to really pick there. But as I level up, I am going to have the option to pick some more spells. Again, this might take a few seconds for it. It tells me that all my cantrips are currently selected. It tells me what my first level spells are. I can add 2 more spells associated with it. Now at this point, I get a list of all the spells that are out there. And if I don't want to see them all, I can certainly hide them. But I can go ahead and add those in here, and then I can just pick whatever I want. I'll pick Detect Magic, and I will pick Shield as my 2 new spells. And I'm going to say next. Just gives me a chance to review it just like before, and I can apply changes. A few seconds later, I am now a School Enchantment Wizard level 2. It's very simple to use to create a character and level up with a character. So if you have any questions, please just comment or send me a message. Be happy to help.